Hello there, I'm Mike Madison with the Winthrop News, and I'm here with GFW Football coach Pat Henches. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning.
It's kind of an interesting year, but it was a great way to end the season with the section championship there.
Yeah, it was so much fun to see the kids celebrating. I think back to that night and watching them tip their hat, certainly to MVL. Jim's got a young team that's going to do very well next year, and be fun to watch them. But also seeing our guys sprint over to Lorenzo. He couldn't be there to play with us. And of course, they stayed away from him, but they were celebrating with him as far away as they could.
Sure.
It was just a lot of great memories from that night.
Fantastic. With the uncertainty that surrounded the season, what kind of take me through? What was it like being a coach and throughout the year?
Yeah, I wish all my coaches had a chance to visit with you about this. I remember the day in the weight room when I said to about 10 of the boys that were in lifting, said there's a chance we might be playing yet this fall. And there was some apprehension out of some of the kids. Some of them were real excited. I think they're questioning, are we ready? And it was cool to see them adapt to that. But as far as how the season went, we really learned how to just focus on the moment in front of us. I think back to the very first game, we went into that game with only 2 starters on defense coming back and 3 starters on offense. And about a quarter and a half into that game, we lost Dominic. And so now we're down to 1 starter on defense. And so the kids really played together well. And we beat a team that certainly was bigger than us, faster than us. I knew we'd have chances to beat some of those teams this year. I really expected that, just because we've been consistent in what we do. But to see it come off the bat, I think back to, there's so many stories, but
Yeah.
Chris Berger, people don't know this, but as a 9th grader, we had him play down in 8th grade just to try to get his ability level up, and he did a great job then. And for him to put in all that time, he got injured as a sophomore, decides to come back out as a junior, and here he starts several games for us as a senior. I think it just epitomizes this program. I'm so proud of him and his teammates too. They just rallied around him.
Sure, fabulous. How would you assess the team's play this year?
It was so cool. We got better. We were down by a ton against Lake Crystal at halftime, and I remember thinking, our competitiveness is there, and thinking we're just going to stay with what we do. And we ran over at halftime to the team and we talked about the kids. We're talking really about how much they loved each other, and how we can do this. And that second half, I could tell then we really gelled offensively and defensively. I think we only gave up 1 touchdown in that second half. When we gave up 31 points in the first quarter, that's quite an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had lost a couple of players. What was really interesting, Isaiah had gotten hurt, and unfortunately the ambulance had to take him out, and luckily he was fine. But the boys, even after that game, and we lost by 8 or 9 points, their focus was, how's Isaiah? And that just told me a lot about this team.
Sure.
It's going to make me tear up here a little bit, but and then going into our last 2 games, we certainly played some of our best football in those last 2 games. The guys just wanted to be together.
What did you find most impressive about the squad this year?
They wanted to learn. We had to adapt. They're so resilient. I'm so impressed with my coaches. Coach Matt and Coach Dan both volunteered. Matt's there every day, and having things ready, and just knowing, hey, we're gonna do what we do. The boys themselves wanting to improve, and then celebrating each other's successes. We talk about that a lot, and I don't think we do that enough in this world. And these guys really celebrated each other. It was so cool to see them not care about who got credit, to see the leadership that really increased in some of these young men. And it doesn't mean that we're perfect. We're still going to make mistakes. But I think of a Damian Hopp and where he's come from and where he's gone to as a leader, as a player. People don't understand the selflessness that he's shown, along with a lot of the others. And I think that's patterned after some of my assistant coaches and how well they put in their time and their effort to the kids in the program.
As a coach in the coaching staff, what do you take away from the year, and what do you hope the athletes took away from it?
Yeah, I can only speak for myself. I felt it was unfinished. Even after that game, our last game, we try to pride ourselves on doing community service, getting over to the elementary school and helping out there. We didn't scratch the surface of what I know our boys wanted to do. Several times throughout the year, they said, is there any way we can do the Buddies program?
Sure.
We can go. And just with COVID, it just wasn't going to work out. and it told me where their hearts were. As far as what we've accomplished here, we've been very consistent in what we do, and we're going to continue to do that. The boys are already talking about how can I get in the weight room. I don't know how many phone calls and text messages and emails we've gotten of guys saying, can we get in there? And obviously right now we're limited, but they're going to come up with some virtual workouts and things like that. Every year our goal is to build relationships and to have a positive impact on others. Now I certainly think we've created these relationships. It's fun seeing these kids visit with each other that maybe wouldn't, and they spend time with each other originally. So I think we've done that. Of course, we can always increase that, but having a positive impact on others, I think we've done that too, but we still have a lot more to do. And like I said, for me, it felt unfinished. It doesn't mean that they weren't successful. It doesn't mean they didn't have a great season. They gave us everything and more. Usually we go into a year and we think, okay, who's going to be our one or two guys who are going to surprise themselves? And kind of play out of their minds. And this year, I'd say we had 8 to 10 of those guys, and it just showed that certainly we needed the experience, and it was just a matter of playing those games, and they got better as football players, and I think they got better as young men too.
Very good. Well, thank you, Pat, for sitting down with us this year and talking with us, and congratulations on a great season.
Thank you, and thanks to all the fans, everybody who participated, the work that they put in for the field. The selflessness by the coaches and community members who tried to help us prepare the field. There's so many people left unthanked that need to be thanked for this, and thank you for everything you do too, Mike.
Thank you.